Can we just nuke India? Operation Yellow is the name of a yellow-colored virus that turns people into mutated minions, deployed on East Asia. This is a reference to Resident Evil 5, where a black virus turns people into black monsters in Africa.
Open fire! This man isn't black!
In the long-running history of Roblox horror games, we've had several waves of sludge run through us like Bonnie Blue. Recently, we had some greasy retro games, and before that we had the weird strict dad stuff and the night shift stuff, story games, and even before that in the early 2010s, we had asymmetrical games. And now we've come full circle and we're back to asymmetrical stuff, Ouroboros. But there's one particular wave of Roblox horror games that have sparked my interest because it's super niche, and that is the Roblox horror game that was made by 6 or 7 artist and one programmer, and I don't have a better name for it. Maybe Twitter will come up with some buzzword to describe it. These games are often not very good, and they're so forgettable I doubt you guys can name a few that aren't the Mimic. In fact, a lot of people actually called them Mimic clones, which apparently used to be offensive to those developers. It's like their version of the N-word. I can remember a few though, because that's my job. I'm Breadian, Vigor, and Elmira, and Echoes of Despair. I wanted to bring up this game because 1, the game developer asked me to play it, and 2, because the developer of the game said he was going to sue me for making fun of him. He pretended to be nice to me at least 2 or 3 times in order to trick me into playing this game, which turned out to be terrible. It was so bad I couldn't even make a video on it. But some other YouTuber did, and then the developer left some mean comments on the video. My random horror game made more money than your parents in 6 months. Cheers. Why don't you go drink champagne on your yacht if you have so much money? Quit writing these big paragraphs. So then I screenshotted these and started pinging him in my Discord server. I don't know, I thought it would be funny. Then he said, "This was pretty tame compared to what I could have said. Were you going to say the N-word? You're spending 120k Robux on this? I would rather give my money to the G. How about you try spending $300 on a dinner date knowing you're going to get blocked?"
And forever.
And he said he was going to sue me for some reason, and I blocked him. I was younger when this happened, so this did in fact stun me. It was a power move. I called my old friend and he said, "Breadian, what are you concerned about? This is just some chud. What would he even sue you for?" So 2 years later, this guy could have changed, but I didn't. I saved all these screenshots. I have to use them. Venna_6. Here's your review you asked for. Your game is terrible. It was so horribly made, I couldn't even finish it. I would rather be raped by 400 men than play it again. I wasted 2 hours of my life trying to beat it without buying a revive. It's just find items 6 times over and over again. Apparently this game made 1 million something. I doubt it made 1 million real life dollars. That's how much pressure was worth at one point. Let's get down to brass tacks here. Project Yellow was made by Chud Development Studio, who is led by Cactus Has Died, a friend of mine. Cactus and I are cool, I think. We met in real life one time. Cactus, listen, I don't have a lot of real life friends, so if you want to meet up for my birthday, that would be cool. March 14th, 4 p.m. At the time of recording this video, it is now March 17th, but you did text me happy birthday, so thank you for remembering my birthday. Cactus developed the Mimic and also made this game called Hollowborn, which is a game I should have went harder on. What's important is the Mimic bit, because as we all know, Roblox horror has developed a lot in the past 5 years. It's a lot more gay. Cactus is like that restaurant that still serves Coca-Cola the old-fashioned way. Like, we still have that high detail art style that a lot of those early 2020s Roblox games had. Some conventions of this niche would be large, tall black men that often have skinny hands or arms or something, like a prototype of Seek from Doors. But I've already made enough jokes about that concept. The takeaway here is that these Mimic core games are usually made by 6 or 7 artists and 1 programmer, which in this case, Cactus is that 1 programmer, and he's also the lead. And here I have to ask, Cactus, what are we doing? Are we here to make money off of a cheaply made game, or are we here to artistically express ourselves? Because it feels like we're in a weird middle ground here, because it like looks cool, but it does not play like quality. You can do better than this. This isn't you. Project Yellow was released like a month ago, and in terms of players, it's doing much better than Hollowborn. The interesting thing about Chud Development Studios is that I am a QA tester, but I never actually QA tested anything. I just make videos well after the game has been released. See, here's the thing. Cactus and I made okay, so we didn't make a deal. We just kind of made a loose verbal agreement saying that I'd give his game the try, but when it came to my end of the bargain, I told him, I don't want money. Can you just please put my name somewhere in the game so I can hit 100k on YouTube? Bad idea. Keep in mind, this deal, whatever, agreement, whatever, was made when I was still working at Lowe's Home Improvement. So I really just wanted an excuse to go back to doing YouTube again. What I want you to take away from this tangent is this. I am not being paid, nor am I being obligated to make this video. So I'm just going to say whatever I want about the game, and I'm not going to be nice. I don't like Project Yellow. Why don't I like Operation Yellow? I mean, it has my name on it. Well, here's why. The game looks good, but the gameplay is lackluster. And the story is a bit, odd.
Let's be real, you wouldn't put your dick in it?
Gameplay of Project Yellow and Hollowborn have not really evolved with the time. The puzzles are very basic, very easy to program, I'd imagine. The puzzles just come down to find an object to unlock a door, then move to a new area and repeat. And sometimes the area in question is just a maze. In terms of a Roblox horror game that has a very well-balanced level design and aesthetic, I would name The Butchery. Even though The Butchery is quite derivative of Resident Evil 7, the layout of the house makes more sense than a bunch of corridors. Every room has a purpose, where in Project Yellow, there's just a lot of fluff in between. Also, Resident Evil 7 is a good game, so if you want to copy a game, just copy a good one. In The Butchery, I can name the rooms by memory. The games room, the closet you hide in, it's all very well decorated.
What's so great about this game is that despite it having a little bit of video game elements to it, the level design looks like it could be an actual home. I mean, sure, it's a pretty big house for people who own it to be unemployed and all, but compared to other Roblox horror games where they just put an ugly maze, this is like a godsend.
It feels like a lived-in environment. Project Yellow, there's effort, but there's no soul here. Everything looks so nicely detailed, but you don't spend a lot of time to ponder it. There isn't really a backstory I can attach to. Like, the castle environment has a lot of destroyed stuff, lots of bricks on the floor, but you never get a precise reason why. This doesn't feel like a place that existed before the game. Was it the monster who broke all the walls, or was it disrepair? Or did the level designer just want to put a bunch of bricks on the floor because it would look cool? You don't get too much time to really ponder the scenery either. They feel less like environments and more like levels. Once you do the puzzle, you're pushed along the track to the next set piece. No options for backtracking or anything. I don't even remember why there was a castle. I thought the game was about science and stuff, but I can't remember why we had to go to a castle. Whoever made the castle also retrofitted it with an electric board that displays where the Project Yellow will be dropped. What is Operation Yellow about? Well, Operation Yellow is a game about a biological weapon that turns people into mutant minions from Despicable Me. The title is also a reference to Agent Orange, which was used to kill a bunch of real-life yellow people. If you think I'm being a bit excessive with the word yellow, get this. The virus is called Operation Yellow, and it's manufactured by Yellow Corp, and the operation system that the computer uses is called Yellow OS. And guess what? The monsters are called Y36 and Y35. Can you guess what the Y stands for? Because it's not the Minecraft elevation where you find diamonds. The beginning of Operation Yellow has you playing as a character known only as the Doctor, where you investigate some derelict bunker. And upon entering, you breathe in some yellow-colored gas, then it causes hallucination. Some pretty incredible gas. It makes you see PNGs of black men. With the way the game is, you'd expect to see yellow men. I would kill myself. With how yellow-centric the game is, it is a bit jarring that the hallucinations are just generic black men, and not something to do with the titular Operation Yellow. Maybe Cactus thought that the big black men would be scarier because, per capita, they're the most violent Roblox monster. But to me, it just comes off as wish-washy. Like, you can't just beat me over the head with yellow and put some generic shit there. You're going to see that the biggest problem with Operation Yellow is that the game has a hard time forming a consistent identity for itself. First off, you're in a bunker. It's all nicely detailed, but there is no character in this place. It's just a bunch of visual noise, just a bunch of textures everywhere. Why do you think Doors was such a riot? The aesthetic was minimalist. The games that came before had lots of meshes and textures that didn't feel like they were from Roblox. The story of Operation Yellow is also hard to follow. Not in their traditional sense. I think the plot is pretty simple. It's so bland that it's hard to make myself pay attention. This game made me feel very sleepy playing it. I'm not even joking. You could replace your melatonin subscription with Operation Yellow. It's very reminiscent of Resident Evil with the bunker, and then Chapter 2 has you headed to the Europe to investigate a castle, but even that couldn't keep me invested. So Chapter 1 has you investigating a bunker, and in canon there's only one character. It just lets you play with 4 people because Roblox players won't play by themselves. And the Doctor barely gets any character anyways, so it's not important. Anyways, the director leads you into a bunker, and then you get gassed. There's some boring little busywork puzzles in there. I think you have to hit the E key until the buttons change color, then repeat 3 times. It's the equivalent of just like sending a toddler to go do like that puzzle with the shapes and the holes in the box. There's also this AI voice version of the guy from the FNAF Pizza Simulator.
Yellow Corp has a radiation leak that needs your immediate attention.
Thank God. If I had to listen to Roblox voice acting on top of everything already, oh my God. So there's this comically large vault that has a map of the British Isles and a little glass jar inside of it. And that's the cure for the yellow disease. Then the director's voice comes on and says, leave it in there. Good Lord. Now run from this monster. You escape the bunker, and that's the end of Chapter 1. I don't remember much of Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is the real meat and potatoes. Chapter 2 has you traveling to a castle in Ireland, which is the key to stopping Operation Yellow from infecting the rest of the world. And whoever designed this kind of fucked up, I'll be honest. You think that this chapter is going to be utilizing the cool castle set piece, but it just doesn't. Most of Chapter 2 takes place outside in big giant fields. It's like Lego Indiana Jones 2. Every level is just a large room where you run around doing a task, and then you move to the next one. You have to like run around and fix generators in this maze while a minion comes after you.
Did I just get raped?
It's kind of like the Weeping Angels, till it's not, and after 10 seconds it just chases you like normal. Credit where credit is due. They at least added a boss fight in this chapter, but it's not a really fun boss fight. There's no resource management, no healing, no ammo, no shooting even. You just get a flamethrower and hold down M1 on the boss until it dies, because the minions are apparently scared of fire. Not like that fucking matters, by the way. It doesn't matter if something is scared of fire or not. If you light it on fire, it's going to burn. It doesn't even behave like it's scared of fire. It still comes after you, regardless if you're burning or not. No stagger animation or nothing. I should light cactus on fire and see what happens. You know, take it from Resident Evil 5, where you had to utilize a flamethrower to defeat a massive monster. Because fire prevents the infected tissue from self-regenerating. Flamethrower is there because it's used to destroy contaminated tissue. It's a lab, and when it runs out, you have to put it down and refuel it. It's a very interactive boss fight, despite the flamethrower being a very simple weapon where all you do is hold M1 and it just kind of spawns in out of thin air. After the minion dies, he goes in the ground. It's very funny. Like a character just decided to bury it while it was still burning. Where did he get a shovel? I don't know, the same place where he got a flamethrower. Then you go inside a castle for like 5 minutes. You find a gun with limited ammo. You barely even use the gun. I don't even think you use the gun at all. After you get it, the game only has one more monster chases you in a chase segment, and you don't even need to use the gun. We did use the gun to kill each other over and over though, since we found out you're just able to do that. If you shoot your teammate in the head, it just instantly kirks them. They missed the very cool cutscene where the tower falls over because of this. Inside the castle, you notice that there's like trash everywhere, but there's also a map, an electronic map. So someone had the time to install that despite the disrepair of the castle. And on this map is a marked location where the deadly Operation Yellow virus will be deployed. And it's like the remote area of Eastern Russia. Nobody lives there. The population density of Russia is basically St. Petersburg and Moscow. Plus, you're accounting for the cold, making travel difficult and all that. How is this virus going to spread to others effectively? Like, I know it can turn them into minion people, but are the minions resistant to the cold weather? Can they navigate Eastern Russia? How do they infect other people? I thought they just ate people. What if the Russians just gunned down the minions? You know, if you wanted to destroy the whole world, you should have just dropped it on a densely populated city in China, particularly an apartment complex in Hong Kong. Oh wait, that'd be a bit on the nose given the name. Fine, let's just drop it on India. So after that, you leave the castle through the back door, find yourself in a hedge maze with some skinny thing. You have to get a key and unlock a shed which has a chainsaw which you use to saw open the door. The chainsaw kind of feels like a cock tease. I don't think you're able to use it on the monster because if I could, I reckon we would have tried it. The final stretch of Project Yellow is a battle on an battle on an airfield where the director is in a private jet that's taking off and you have to destroy it with an RPG. Because if you don't, then the whole world will be in fact total global saturation. This is very reminiscent of the final boss in Resident Evil 5 where you and your partner have to stop him from taking off in a bomber plane that's going to deploy a world-ending virus. Just like Project Yellow, it involves using several RPG rockets. But just like the flamethrower boss fight earlier, there's no substance. You just go to a bucket, grab a rocket, fire it at the plane. I sound like a broken record here, but Resident Evil 5, when you fight Albert Wesker, you have to fire rockets at him. The RPG is a clunky weapon, much like the flamethrower. Also, Albert Wesker will catch the rockets or dodge. The entire boss fight requires you and your partner to weaken Wesker using combat QTEs until he's too fatigued to block a rocket. Then you inject him with AIDS. Project Yellow, you just kind of shoot at the airplane until it dies. It doesn't even feel satisfied because the entire ending is just, sorry, there's been a second plane.
There were two planes, Gabriel. You destroyed the wrong one.
The director made a decoy plane that's resistant to being blown up by RPGs as a distraction while he escapes on the main plane. Genius. Overall, Project Yellow is not a very good game. It's just not what Roblox players are into nowadays. The minions are kind of funny. They're not really funny. The gimmicky premise cannot carry the game. Roblox players are demanding an engaging story with mystery box lore and characters that stand out. The minions don't stand out. You need better design. I'd even argue something more vibrant. I mean, I hate vibrant colors in Roblox games, but it just might be the meta. I mean, the minions are like supposed to be bright yellow, but they don't really stand out from the game's environment at all. Just looks like texture noise.
It's wearing a thong. It's got its butt cheeks out.
Maybe just add some neon parts? I don't know. I'm Breadian and I talk about niche Roblox games. Please subscribe to me and like this video.